Reverend the Chaplain to University.
Let us pray. Veni Sancte Spiritus, repli tuorum, corda fidelium et tui amoris, in eis ignem accendi, qui per diversitatem linguarum cunctarum, gentes in unitati fidei congregasti. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of your faithful, and kindle in them the fire of your love. For you are the one who, in spite of differences in language, gather the nations into a unity of faith. Amen.
I do welcome all of you most warmly to this graduation. Please be seated. Mrs. Tibbet.
Pro-Chancellor, Principal, friends, family supporters, and most importantly, graduands, welcome. For many of the graduands, this hall brings back memories of Applicant Day, or the Open Day, or the first year business event, which hopefully was some fun. It might remind you also of the less fun of some of the exams that you've also had to set over the years. Your journey to this point may have been straightforward, or it could have had a few detours along the way. However, you got here. You did. You got here. Now is the moment to pause, to reflect, to sigh with relief, because you know, you did it. With the help of your family, your friends, and your academic and admin supporters, those with you here today and those who couldn't be with you today. But be assured, we are all immensely proud of what you have achieved. So to all of them, this is the moment where you get the opportunity to show your appreciation. So graduands, can I get you to be upstanding, please? Can you make as much noise as you can and show your appreciation to all those who have helped you get here today? Thank you. You can sit down now. Thank you very much. But of course, this is your day. As the lecturer, tutor, and exam invigilator, staff members see you make that enormous adjustment from home to university, living independently, often for the first time. The shiny new clothes at the beginning of term give way to that mismatched jumble, an interesting aroma toward the middle and the end of term. We see you struggle to grasp the concepts. Double entry bookkeeping test for anybody in accounting and finance? We see you have that eureka moment when light dawns and understanding is clear. We see you just drop off your assignments. The look of relief, determination that you're not going to be quite so late next time. Good intentions usually forgotten by the time the next assignment comes around. It's as invigilators, though, that's when it all becomes clear to us. Despite all the staff support from staff, family, and friends, you are entirely alone. It's you and that exam paper. It's down to you, the effort and preparation that you put in, holding your nerve and coping with the stress, putting in your very best performance to do yourself justice. And so here you are. You did it. So now is the time for all of us to give you, to get those phones out, jump with joy. So family, friends, staff, supporters, and graduands, I give you the class of 2016. As many of the graduates know, I'm a latecomer to academia, so after over 20 years working as an auditor, let me give you some insights about the academics that have been working with you. Sometimes when you sat in that lecture hall, one face amongst many, you thought you were invisible to us. Having to remember so many names is quite a challenge, especially for somebody like me. But that doesn't mean to say that we see you as a class. We see you as individuals. Each and every one of you sits within our memories. The eager student keen to ask questions, catching us as we run through the next tutorial. The student who is asleep or permanently attached to social media at the back of the room. The student whose relationships have held firm from year one. The butterfly student who sits at the edge of the group, very quiet, and we have to coax them out to get involved. The quiet student who doesn't say much, but always, always does really well. The student who volunteers at every opportunity. The student who made it through despite overwhelming odds, overcame physical or mental illness, or has lost somebody close to them. The student with that wicked sense of humour in tutorials. The student whose mind went blank when we asked them the simplest of questions, because after all, nobody likes being put on the spot. The student who still has nightmares about my extended TB. The student who always sat at the end of the row to make room for the rugby, tennis, and hockey kit. Or the student who seemed to forever appear with a stookie on some part of their anatomy as a result of some sort of sports injury related to them. You all made an impression on us. Now it's your turn to make an impression on the world. I was once given one of those motivational plaques, and it said, "Success is getting what you want, happiness is wanting what you get." I kept it as a reminder that I only partially agree with it. In regard to success being measured in material ways, okay. But remember, as the good old Scots saying goes, there ain't no pockets in your shroud. Success is about so much more. It's about making a difference in the world. And that second line seems to suggest that we need to settle. To be happy, we have to settle for what we get. And that I hope you never do. If my generation had settled with what we got, apartheid would still exist, the Berlin Wall would still be up, and we wouldn't be traveling in space. But there is so much still for you guys to do. Your degree has given you the knowledge, the skills to develop your intellectual curiosity. It has developed within you fortitude and stamina, and above all, the courage to challenge the perceived ways of thinking, to be skeptical, to not blindly accept what you are told, but to question and to disagree. To go out and make a difference in this world. It's not boxed you in, it's opened up a vast array of opportunities. Now, some of you know exactly where you're going next, and that's great. Some of you, not so sure, that's great too. Opportunities are going to open up for you. So be brave, follow your heart. And remember, whatever you do next, whatever sector you join, whatever level or role, you will face choices and ethical dilemmas. Your decisions and choices will shape not only your future, but the future of many others. So like in that exam hall, ultimately, it's down to you. We send you out confident that you can and will make a difference, to be happy and to succeed. And one last thing. Like your family and friends said when you came to university, please keep in touch. And to that end, I'd like to conclude with the Aberdeen City Toast, which seems particularly apt. Happy to meet, sorry to part, happy to meet again. Bon accord.
Professor Diamond.
Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa, Nicola Dandridge. Pro-Chancellor, before I speak about our honorary graduand, may I remind the company of two important pieces of background information. First, across the UK there are over 150 universities. These range from internationally renowned research-intensive universities such as Aberdeen to much smaller universities with a more regional and largely teaching focus. Universities across the UK, on any count, are extremely heterogeneous. The sector is also very, very good. And may I say that UK higher education is one of the jewels in the UK's crown. The second point I'd like to remind the company is that each of these universities is led by a Vice-Chancellor. As my colleagues here well know, the collective noun for a group of Vice-Chancellors is an ego. Therefore, you might think that it would be an impossible task to lead and coordinate this diverse set of institutions, ensuring that broadly they all face in the same direction, while at the same time negotiating with government on every aspect of university life, from the quality of teaching and research policy to international student visas, and from freedom of information to the Prevent Bill on extremism. Yet the fact that the body which leads UK higher education, that's Universities UK, has been so effective over the past few years, and that, at a time of unprecedented change in higher education policy, UK higher education has navigated so many difficult channels so effectively, has been due to the persuasive, inclusive leadership of our honorary graduate, Nicola Dandridge. Nicola Dandridge, who is joined here today by her son Matthew, who we also welcome warmly, studied first at Oxford and then at what was then the City of London Polytechnic, gaining her professional legal qualifications. Always committed to inclusivity and to reducing inequality, she worked first in the City of London and then for Thompson's, the leading trades union lawyers, before, I have to say, seeing the light, relocating to Scotland, retraining, okay, at the University of Glasgow in Scottish law, and working in Scotland for 10 years, specialising in equality law. Then, on returning to England, from 2006 to 2009, she was Chief Executive of the Equality Challenge Unit. The Equality Challenge Unit does everything to promote equality and diversity for staff and students in higher education across all 4 nations of the UK and in colleges in Scotland. And Nicola, you can rest assured that equality and diversity is at the heart of this university's DNA. Pro-Chancellor, I have been in academia for nearly 40 years and have held leadership roles for over 30, so I speak with a little authority when I say that until the late 2000s, higher education policy was almost never on the front or even the middle pages of the broadsheets, yet alone the tabloids. However, this was to change with a vengeance immediately after Nicola's appointment at Universities UK, in the run-up to the 2010 election and throughout the subsequent coalition government. I'm not, of course, going to suggest that Nicola Dandridge was the cause of this change, but she was certainly charged with leading and navigating UK higher education through some incredibly choppy waters. There are too many examples to mention, but one could mention the rise in fees for English students, some things that students were united against, university vice-chancellors were split on, and the government was driving through anyway. There was the misperception that universities were awash with cash and that efficiencies were not being made. There was the coalition's unprecedented attack on the ability of UK universities to recruit international students. And of course, across this, the increasing divergence of higher education policy across the nations of the UK. All these challenges were managed, not without robust discussion, but with an inclusivity of leadership that had not, I would suggest, been seen across higher education in the UK previously. And in doing so, across a group of institutions with the institutional characteristics and personalities I described initially. Nicola Dandridge's style, I would suggest, Pro-Chancellor, is to seek consensus, but not to be afraid to make decisions, to harness the evidence effectively, to continue to engage when many would have retreated to the barricades, and to communicate with clarity and inspiration. Pro-Chancellor, one of the reasons for conveying honorary degrees is to give our own graduates, you here today, role models who they could, if they continue to work hard and show the inspired talents that have brought them here today, emulate in their future lives. Pro-Chancellor, I can think of no one who encapsulates the qualities we aspire for in our students better than Nicola Dandridge. And so it is with great pleasure that I ask you to convey on her the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
Ego te doctorem et magistrum honoris causa, constituo creo proclama renuntio, et insignum caput tuum hoc pileo orno, quod ut fidex fastumque sit Deum optimum maximum precor. Professor Greggs.
Pro-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you for the award of the degree of Doctor of Divinity honoris causa, David Ford. David Frank Ford is an Irish theologian who served for almost a quarter of a century as Regius Professor of Divinity at the University of Cambridge, and who has influenced British theology perhaps more than any other theologian of his generation. David Ford was born in Dublin and received his university education initially in classics at Trinity College Dublin, and then in theology at Cambridge, Yale, and Tübingen universities. His first academic appointment was at the University of Birmingham, where he served for 15 years and began what was to be his most significant academic relationship with his senior colleague and future father-in-law, the late Reverend Professor Daniel Hardy. The time at Birmingham saw the publication of 3 important books, and crucially, an increasing awareness of the significance and impact of theology, not only upon the church, but also upon the broader multicultural society of Birmingham. In 1991, Professor Ford became not only the youngest, but also the first ever lay appointment to the Regius Chair in Divinity in Cambridge University. Professor Ford has used his position to establish himself as a leading academic theologian in the world, but also, long before such terms as public theology and impact were ever coined, to engage with the broader religious communities outside of the academy. His success at attracting and shaping the minds of subsequent theological generations from his chair is such that Professor Ford has former students occupying theological chairs and even vice-chancellorships throughout the world, from America to Kenya to Australia. Within the UK, the universities of London, Exeter, Birmingham, Oxford, Nottingham, Leeds, Durham, Chester, and our own Aberdeen have numbered his former students within their faculties. Indeed, I was privileged enough to be his doctoral student myself, and my colleague, Professor Paul Nimmo, served a postdoctoral position under his supervision. We might say that Professor Ford is not so much responsible for a chair as for a sofa in theology here at the University of Aberdeen, therefore. Professor Ford's influence is more lasting, however, than even his influence through his former students. He developed the Faculty of Divinity in Cambridge into a department where theology and religious studies were taught together, oversaw the funding and building of a new faculty building, raised £25 million for the Cambridge faculty, and founded the Cambridge Interfaith Programme. His influence in the church has arisen through his work as theological advisor to 3 archbishops of Canterbury, his work with the Doctrine Commission of the Church of England, work with the L'Arche community, and his current work with church schools, as well as through his several popular works of theology for interested laity. Perhaps Professor Ford's greatest achievement of all, however, has been his almost prophetic sense of the significance of interfaith work and the role and value of the university in brokering conversations between faith communities. This work has been recognized not only by his receiving the Sternberg Foundation Gold Medal for Interfaith Relations and the Coventry International Prize for Peace and Reconciliation, but also by his receiving the OBE in 2014 for his contributions to theology and interfaith relations. Pro-Chancellor, for these and his many, many other contributions to the university sector, to public theology, and indeed to our complexly religious and secular world, I have the tremendous honour to present to you for the award of the degree of Doctor of Divinity honoris causa, Professor David Frank Ford, OBE.
Egerte sacrosanctae theologiae doctorum et magistrum constituo creo proclamo renuntio et in signum caput tuum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix pastumque sit deum optimum maximum precor. Now, Neil Anderson is moving to the front of the hall, and Neil Anderson will perform Rollicum Rorum by Gerald Finzi. Neil will be graduating tomorrow with the degree of Bachelor of Music. He is a choral scholar at King's College Chapel, and he was a finalist in this year's Augustin Music Prize. In September, Neil will begin his postgraduate studies at the Royal Academy of Music in vocal performance.
When boys strive to hear a preach, ask practice what they preach, and only he'll come bouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole, rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole. When justice says all equal scales and rogues are only found in jails, then only he'll come bouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole, rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole. When the rich men find their wealth accursed, there we fill the poor man's purse. Then only he'll come bouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole, rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole. When husbands with their wives agree and maids will wed from modesty, then only he'll come bouncing down and march his men on London town. Rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole, rollicum rorum, tollolor, rollicum rorum, tollole.
Professor Duff, promoter of graduands.
pro cancellare, Domine Doctores et Magistri, et tota Universitas, praesentu vobis hos candidatos, examine probatos, ad gradum doctoratus in philosophia promovendos.
Promovere.
Ascendant Manal El Shiri.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitate amplissima mendocerunt, te in philosophia doctorum et magistrum creo, in cuius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix fastunque sit deum optimum maximum precor.
Patrick Egudia.
Et te creo.
Item presento vobis hos candidatos, examine probados, ad gradum magistratus in scientia promovendos.
Annuenti sonatu placet promovere.
Folacame ad ombedi.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitate amplissima mendocerunt, te in scientia magistrum creo, in cuius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix fastunque sit deum optimum maximum precor.
Giacomo Conte.
Et te creo.
Maximilian Happel.
Et te creo.
Robert Kelly.
Et te creo.
Pascal Corman.
Et te creo.
Elizabeth Unger.
Et te creo.
Zentong Xu.
Et te creo.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos, examine probados, ad gradum magistratus in negotiis administrandus promovendos.
Annuenti sonatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Benita Bazer en Shiro.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitate amplissima mendocerunt, te in legotis administrandis magistrum creo, in cuius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix fastunque sit deum optimum maximum precor.
Omalolo Dabiri.
Et te creo.
Kuku Danaswaro.
Et te creo.
Perida Taiwan Sinkam.
Et te creo.
Siafkik Kamis.
Et te creo.
Anna Marta Norivic.
Et te creo.
Anuolu Wapo Ping.
Ete Creo.
Pearl Prasher.
Ete Creo.
Hebatu Barus.
Ete Creo.
Michael Ariga.
Ete Creo.
Imen Ketchai.
Ete Creo.
Olivier Perrichon.
Ete Creo.
Rabbi Alanizi.
Ete Creo.
Sally Carroll.
Ete Creo.
Isuza Osahon.
Ete Creo.
Item praesentu vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in scientia economiae promovendos.
Annuenti sonatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Florian Venia Cambaja.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes mai huic universitate amplissimem endosserunt, te in scientia economiae magistrum creo, in curius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix pastunque sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Igor Malovich.
Ete Creo.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in artibus liberalibus promovendos.
Annuenti sonatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Junaid Rasool.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes mai huic universitate amplissimam endosserunt, te in artibus liberalibus magistrum creo, in curius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix faustumque sit, deum optimum maximum precor.
Qui honores meruerunt Fraser Bastianelli.
Ete Creo.
Stephen Christmas.
Ete Creo.
David Eady.
Ete Creo.
Sophie Fraser.
Ete Creo.
Aldas Gorgas.
Ete Creo.
Rosanna McGrath.
Ete Creo.
Adrian Sanderson.
Ete Creo.
Stuart Bill.
Ete Creo.
Margaret Guff.
Ete Creo.
Bogdan Yasevitz.
Ete Creo.
Jamie MacDonald.
Ete Creo.
James Manus.
Ete Creo.
Yasmin Rasmussen.
Ete Creo.
Joseph Reed.
Ete Creo.
Cameron Shanks.
Ete Creo.
Victor Teixeira.
Ete Creo.
Jamie Wise.
Ete Creo.
Boris Borisov.
Ete Creo.
Joanne Cameron.
Ete Creo.
Gillian Shivenge.
Ete Creo.
Bethany Cowell.
Ete Creo.
David Edgar.
Ete Creo.
Chenjing Gao.
Ete Creo.
Tandeep Gill.
Ete Creo.
Rebecca Goldie.
Ete Creo.
Dan High.
Ete Creo.
Shona Hepburn.
Ete Creo.
Clavs Yasuns.
Ete Creo.
David Law.
Ete Creo.
Yekaterina Lenksevich.
Ete Creo.
Iji Lee.
Ete Creo.
Linda Litma.
Ete Creo.
Han Lin.
Ete Creo.
Latif Mamadaliev.
Ete Creo.
Clive Marambwa.
Ete Creo.
Ludwig Palmer.
Ete Creo.
Lulu Xian.
Ete Creo.
Sonia Rasman.
Ete Creo.
Gabrielle Sapagovaite.
Ete Creo.
Madara Shimkovica.
Ete Creo.
Yekaterina Sitnikova.
Ete Creo.
Maria Skibinska.
Ete Creo.
Victoria Skurzynskaite.
Ete Creo.
Geralt Oyu Tavanchulu.
Ete Creo.
Jerry Thomas.
Ete Creo.
Jordan Thompson.
Et te creo.
Eva Václavová,
Et te creo.
Anastasia Valter,
Et te creo.
Shui Yang,
Et te creo.
Suzanne Yule,
Et te creo.
Agne Aleknavichute,
Et te creo.
David Angus,
Et te creo.
Clara Fitos,
Et te creo.
Daiva Kasabukaiti,
Et te creo.
Luana Lefter,
Et te creo.
Mungji Liu,
Et te creo.
Nicola Makatsofa,
Et te creo.
and I apologise for forgetting you, Halima Mohammed.
Et te creo. Now, Jack Christie is coming to the front of the auditorium and he will perform The Road and the Miles to Dundee, Swallowtail Jig and Dr. Gordon's Stables. And Jack will be graduating tomorrow with the degree of Bachelor of Music. Classically trained at the university, Jack has also a strong passion for Scottish fiddle music. He's a member of the up-and-coming Ceilidh band, Reel of Fortune, a locally acclaimed group of musicians who play at weddings, corporate events, and functions throughout the northeast of Scotland.
Item praesentu vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratus in artibus liberalibus promovendos.
Anyway, it's an auto bracket from a very.
Ascendant Ricky Cheng.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes almae huic universitate amplissimam endosserunt, te in artibus liberalibus magistrum creo in cuis rei testimonium capitum hoc pedeo orno quod ut felix fastumque sit deum optimum maxim preco.
Mitko Atanasov.
Et te creo.
Desislava Dimitrova.
Et te creo.
Lina Dubinkaite.
Et te creo.
Kirsti Kornav.
Et te creo.
Alistair Moore.
Et te creo.
Cameron Nichol.
Et te creo.
Raimund Olechnovich.
Et te creo.
Elliot Sinclair.
Et te creo.
Davidus Urbutus.
Et te creo.
Rennie Waller.
Et te creo.
Lorena Silinskas.
Et te creo.
Alina Kuritsona.
Et te creo.
Haley Johnston.
Et te creo.
Paulina Pashova.
Et te creo.
Georgie Voef.
Et te creo.
Achilleas Monastiriotis.
Et te creo.
C. Wang.
Et te creo.
Camilla Adams.
Et te creo.
Samuel Blatter.
Et te creo.
Kirsty Bradley.
Et te creo.
Viviana Fedi.
Et te creo.
Julia Georgieva.
Et te creo.
Leo Yarsta.
Et te creo.
Anna Kennedy.
Et te creo.
Kirsty Kerr.
Et te creo.
Emilia Krumova.
Et te creo.
Tiziana Kubert.
Et te creo.
Satu Leonsari.
Et te creo.
Sarah MacArthur.
Et te creo.
Melissa McLaren.
Et te creo.
Douglas McMillan.
Et te creo.
Christiana Milanova.
Et te creo.
Catherine Nicholson.
Et te creo.
Emily Peden.
Et te creo.
Ansi Soini.
Et te creo.
Claire Strachan.
Et te creo.
Jennifer Tate.
Et te creo.
Amy Thompson.
Et te creo.
Martin Tihov.
Et te creo.
Hannah Williamson.
Et te creo.
Presyan Yanakiev.
Et te creo.
Clement Antonov.
Et te creo.
Alexandru Yusuf.
Et te creo.
Hannah Marshall.
Et te creo.
May Parnian.
Et te creo.
Tanya Ray.
Et te creo.
Emma Smith.
Et te creo.
Ariella Thompson.
Et te creo.
Michelle Tott.
Et te creo.
Amy Nuttall.
Et te creo.
Anna Rabia Schwartzman.
Et te creo.
Joanna Strachan.
Et te creo.
Victoria DL.
Et te creo.
Kirsty Gordon.
Et te creo.
Robin Graham.
Et te creo.
Adam Honeyman.
Et te creo.
Alexander Mackay.
Et te creo.
Callum Thompson.
Et te creo.
Item presento vobis host candidatos examine probatos ad gradum doctoratos in philosophia promovendos.
Annuenti sonatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Abdelaharim Abdelaharim.
Ego auctoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes amai quic universitate amplissimam endosserunt te in philosophia doctorum et magistrum creo, in cuius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix fastunque sit deum optimum maximum precor.
Catherine Anderson.
Ete Creo.
Richmond Osei Heary.
Ete Creo.
Wanzahafi Wanzahari.
Ete Creo.
Item praesento vobis hos candidatos examine probatos ad gradum magistratos in utroque iure promovendos.
Annuentis sonatu placet promovere.
Ascendant Agnieszka Fab.
Ego autoritate quam sumi et potentissimi principes a mai huic universitate amplissimam doserunt te in utroque iure magistrum creo, in cuius rei testimonium capitum hoc pileo orno quod ut felix pastunque sit deum optimum maximum precor.
Fabian Agakame.
Et te creo.
Gurnish Sidhu.
Et te creo.
Ellen Gastel.
Et te creo.
Florian Hartson.
Et te creo.
Scarlett Okoth.
Et te creo.
Putipan Bunyapipat.
Et te creo.
Mehdi Husseini.
Et te creo.
Aluwa Bukunmi Awatiku.
Et te creo.
Khadija Bala.
Et te creo.
Eden Bing.
Et te creo.
Philippe Gedeon.
Et te creo.
Ibibi Kalibikova.
Et te creo.
Berta Camario.
Et te creo.
Valeria Kitsina.
Et te creo.
Yovia Nampewo.
Et te creo.
Tanaporn Panachart.
Et te creo.
Eria Tusubira.
Et te creo.
Christopher Dixon.
Et te creo.
Nasser Makaren.
Et te creo.
Bethany Gordon.
Et te creo. Dr. Dandridge.
Truly deeply honoured to have been awarded an honorary degree today by the University of Aberdeen, one of the most prestigious, one of the oldest, and surely one of the most beautiful of the country's universities. And perhaps the most fantastic aspect of this ceremony this morning has been to share the experience with you all. You all come from different backgrounds, have studied different subjects, and after graduation are going to go off and do all sorts of different things. But you are all united here this morning, today, to celebrate your success in graduating, to celebrate your hard work and your time together. So whatever you end up doing, you will always have this common past. You will be an Aberdonian diaspora, united by your experience here at this great university. So congratulations to all of you. However, it is one thing to be floating around today looking glamorous and gorgeous in your robes, looking relaxed and surrounded by family and friends. I'm quite sure that the reality of actually getting your degrees was rather different. In the run-up to your final exams, no doubt some extremely hard work, fair amount of anxiety, lack of sleep, possibly also late night, panicky revision, and I'm sure generally sitting behind that many years of some consistently hard work. I know certainly that my experience of studying law in Scotland, and many of you indeed are lawyers today, was of course some grindingly hard work during the course of that degree course. I remember the challenge of simply trying to stay awake during lectures devoted to the finer points of delict and trust and property, and the detailed legal consequences of, if I remember rightly, consuming decomposing snails in ginger beer bottles, a legacy that the town of Paisley in Renfrewshire donated not just to Scottish law students, but students throughout the world, and those of you who are lawyers will know what I'm referring to there. But I wish I could be standing here today sharing my own happy experience of my own graduation from university and how it led straight away to enlightenment and happiness. And can I confess that for me it really wasn't like that at all, at least not immediately. I initially graduated with a degree in classics with simply not a clue what I was going to end up doing. I certainly loved being an undergraduate overall, but my goodness, there were some lows amongst the highs. And my overwhelming memories are as much of agonies about social life and boyfriends as it is about Homer, Plato, Aristotle, and the Peloponnesian War. Having said all that, I can confidently say that it is the Homer and the Aristotle that I now remember and live with me and inform my thinking, and not the social life and certainly not the boyfriends. But in the end, I took a year out and then decided to qualify as a lawyer, initially in London, and then in my late 20s I moved up to Glasgow to qualify as a lawyer in Scotland as well. And I can confidently say that moving to Scotland was the best decision in my life. I had a wonderful job working as a lawyer in Glasgow, specialising in equality and discrimination law. I got married here, I had my children here, and I then left that to lead a charity focusing on equality and diversity before taking up my current job in London as Chief Executive of Universities UK, which, as the Principal and Vice-Chancellor has said, is the organisation which represents all universities in the UK, including, of course, the University of Aberdeen, and we are extraordinarily proud to have this university amongst our membership. Although I'm not a lawyer now, I have never regretted the decision to qualify as a lawyer. It gives you a rigour in one's approach and a confidence in understanding how society works, which I certainly draw on all the time. During my time when I was working in the field of equality and diversity, one of the main things I remember was the role that consistently ran through our work, the role of education, how central that is in transforming people's lives. Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And likewise, the Pakistani human rights activist Malala Yousafzai speaks of education in terms of it being a precious gift, a diamond. Certainly, allowing women to go to university was a central cause of women's rights in the 19th and 20th century, and redoubtable Victorian women campaigned precisely to allow women to go to university, knowing exactly what benefits that would bring to them. And in doing so, they had to combat such widely held belief that education and studying science in particular would damage women's health, particularly, extraordinarily, their ability to have children, a thesis which was comprehensively rebutted by research carried out by those same Victorian feminist academics, which demonstrated that actually college-educated women were actually healthier than their less educated sisters. And I was reminded of this early history of women's equality and women's university education when reading about the University of Aberdeen, who first opened its doors to women undergraduates in 1892, with women being allowed to undertake undergraduate degrees in 1894, amongst the earliest of universities in the United Kingdom to allow women to graduate, one of Scotland's and University of Aberdeen's many proud legacies. But education, and university education in particular, matters not just in terms of equality and social mobility, important though they are. One of our roles at Universities UK is to understand what the significance and value of university degrees are. And what is overwhelmingly clear is that even though getting a degree is hard work, it is most definitely worth it. It's not just that getting a degree means that you're so much more likely to get a job and earn more in comparison with people with broadly equivalent higher qualifications who chose not to go to university. It's that the skills you learn at university provide you with the resources and the tools to thrive in work in the future, particularly the ability to develop the skills you'll need in 10, 20, 30 or more years' time when the world of work will have changed, no doubt, beyond recognition. And research shows that graduates, male and female, I hasten to add, are also very much more likely to undertake civic responsibilities, to volunteer, to lead healthier lives, not to smoke, and to crown it all, to be slimmer, with far lower incidence of obesity than their non-graduate counterparts. And also more likely to vote, on which point can I please urge you to remember to vote in the European referendum on 23rd of June. This is your future, and the consequences of this referendum decision again reverberate for decades into your lifetime, whatever way you decide to vote. But leaving aside the politics, getting a degree is of course about much more than just employability and civic responsibility. Ultimately, it is about you as a human being, as a person. It's about knowing how to understand the world better, about making sense of this world around us and seeing things differently. Thornton Wilder, in his great novel, The Eighth Day, said, "Education ties together the things that you see." Getting university is about having the integrity to think for yourself, challenging accepted norms, having the courage to reach your own conclusions, and the confidence in your intellectual abilities to stand up for what you think is right. Martin Luther King said that the function of education was to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. So to finish, first of all, again, many congratulations to all of you. You should be rightly proud of what you have achieved, and your mums and dads and families here should be very proud of what your sons and daughters have managed to do here at the university. But secondly, as you graduate today and go out into the world, do remember the understanding that you've gained, the power and responsibility that your university education has given to you. Do have wonderful, fulfilling, interesting, and connected lives. And most of all, do always remember how much you owe to this wonderful university, the University of Aberdeen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, please may I ask you all to stand and to join with me in singing God Save the Queen. Reverend, the chaplain to the university.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warmly on your face. May the rains fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.